Live from New York, it's Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern.
Hello, and welcome.
You're here.
We're going to interrupt today's normally scheduled broadcast to make a special announcement.
We have important news. What is the important news, Becky?
We're launching a contest. It's with Gemma and Element 14, and it's all about hats. We're calling it the Hats Off Challenge.
Right. Yeah, and it's because there's so many electronic projects that you can do with hats now.
Yes, there are.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you can use Gemma really easily to make a cool hat project. So what we're doing is 10 competitors are going to get a free Gemma sensor pack, and they're going to be challenged to make a cool hat. And it's similar to the Flora challenge we ran last year with Element 14, which was a lot of fun, if you remember that. We got the Flora umbrella. Leslie got the Flora umbrella out of that contest, and it was just a lot of fun. So this year, people will be challenged to make hats with Gemma. And so you're welcome to submit your proposal right now.
Okay.
On the...
so that's step one.
Yep, step one is think of a cool hat you want to make with Gemma and the Gemma sensor pack, and submit it to the Element 14 page, which is linked on the announcement page on the Adafruit blog, or you can just go to element14.com/hatsoff.
Okay.
And so you can submit your ideas now up until August 4th, and then we will go comb through all of your proposals, and we'll pick 10 that we think are the most fun and the most doable and the most well presented to us, and we'll give them each a Gemma sensor pack to build projects. And each week the competitors will blog their progress on the Element 14 Wearable Technology Group.
Oh, that's cool. So all you have to do is come up with an idea. We send you the stuff, you build it,
yep,
and then we will look at your progress.
Yep, and then the contest runs through the end of October. So if you were thinking of a way to get your Halloween costume supplies paid for, or you know, something like that, you could propose a Halloween hat.
Is there any handy videos or examples that someone did that could help them?
Funny you should ask that. Oh. We have a tutorial coming out by Leslie Birch next week that is a sample Gemma hat project, and I want to share with you a little sample video.
Okay.
Teaser.
All right.
So if you're stumped for ideas, you can look out for Leslie's hat tutorial next week. Obviously, it's Close Encounters of the Third Kind, super fun, and it's activated by darkness with a photoresistor.
Yeah.
And if you're looking for more Gemma inspiration, we have a bunch of tutorials up on the Adafruit learning system that have sample code, and so you could totally remix one of the tutorials that's there to get you started with your programming.
Yeah.
The Gemma sensor pack has NeoPixels, has a vibration sensor, has a photo sensor. You go back to the picture, I can tell you what other sensors it comes with. It comes with a button, so you could do like a clicky, you could click to activate, and a rechargeable battery and a charger. So all the things you need, and a piezo buzzer if you want to make sound or detect vibration. So all the simple sensors that Gemma can use, you can propose an idea right now.
Yeah, and you could even take a project on the learning system and kind of remix it, redo things, and that could be part of your idea.
Yeah, for sure. And because a lot of the code that runs on the different Gemma projects is totally, you know, platform or you know, garment agnostic. Like you could put it on, you can take our bracelet and use that same code to run a hat. And it doesn't have to be a hat. We're interpreting
it could be a volcano.
Yes.
And it could be a Close Encounters of the Third Kind spaceship. So it could be just kind of like Leslie's video, but you could be wearing a volcano hat.
Yes. Or it could be a Daft Punk helmet, or it could be a NeoPixel tiara, although we already did that.
Yeah.
It could be
this is a cool contest.
Anything that you wear on your head. So that's sort of the, because we think from constraint comes creativity.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, well, we'll keep everybody updated. We'll mention this next week. We now return you to the regularly scheduled broadcast, Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern.
Dun da da! It's July 16th.
We're back.
Welcome to the rest of Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern.
Okay.
What's on today's show, Phil?
On today's show, Wearable Wednesday.
That's where we tell you what's going on this week, cool stuff, and we debut this week's tutorial project that you can build yourself at home.
Material Spotlight.
Today, it's circuit stickers.
Oh, yeah, these are cool.
Dun, dun, dun.
Component of the week.
Cool components for batteries this week.
Questions and answers. You have questions. Becky has answers and useful tutorials.
If you have questions at any point during the show, you can post them up in the comments, and I will queue them up for a future show. That's how it works around here, because I research your questions and I give you thoughtful answers. If your question is chosen to be answered on the show, you will be eligible to win the show's giveaway, which today is a Flora board.
All right, all that and more on Wearable Electronics at Becky's turn. Okay, we can get this party started now.
Already started. What's today's code, Phil?
Oh, right. Good question. Well, it's hats off in celebration of the contest that we just talked about.
So you can get 10% off. If you want supplies to prototype outside of the Gemma sensor pack that you are definitely entitled to, you can use code hats off to get 10% off everything in the Flora and Wearables category until tonight.
That's a good deal. Yeah. Okay. First up, Wearable Wednesday. Adafruit site has the biggest collection of wearable electronics posts every single week on Wednesday.
Every Wednesday, we post up 10 or 15 or 30 of our favorite wearables projects and share them with you. And today, Jess posted up this amazing fashion student made this really awesome NeoPixel ring ball gown for a ball gown class she's taking. It's made out of neoprene, and each one of these cool like vinyl spikes or crystals has a NeoPixel ring inside it. Isn't that phenomenal?
This is amazing.
It's so cool. I mean, it looks like our Stego Spike hoodie that's behind you, but like, you know, obviously totally different style, similar principle, but...
If you ever wonder how you can get like 75 people, that's Adafruit, all together to work on something called Adafruit, this is how you do it. Because if you started showing this, okay, all you guys have to do is all this work and everything, that would be the motivation, but you don't get that ahead of time. You have to wait. And so, past us would be very happy to see this. Like, this is... Like, is there anybody that's doing anything like this at all? Like, there's a ball gown class too. Like,
yeah, the New York Fashion Academy. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
This is a cool world. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a cool city. Yeah. So nice project. I love it.
That's amazing.
There's some news. In some news, I will be on Science Friday this Friday.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
With Ira Fladow.
Yeah.
It's on NPR, and I mean, it's a PRI program, but it's on NPR and other affiliates nationwide. Yeah. Friday I think it's on between 2 and 4. I'm not exactly sure when my segment will be airing, because I think they record it a little bit before, and then they like maybe edit it or not, and then they push it live, right?
Yeah.
Is that how radio works? I don't know how radio works.
Well, now in the modern age, it's streamed live, it's recorded, it's published. There's different time zones, but...
Right, oh yeah, time zones.
Yeah,
so I don't know, look up your local...
Science Friday's on a podcast too.
Right, and it'll be available for download later. If you can't listen live on Friday, that should be fun.
Ira Fladow, so I was on Science Friday when I was talking about Make Magazine.
Yeah.
And I told Ira that Part of the week battery thing.
I'm just going to do it again next week.
You got to power stuff. Question and answers. We're going to give away a Flora, but we're going to just do the questions next week. Right?
No, we're going to do the questions right now.
Oh,
It's
we
the
are?
only thing we're going to do.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to do the other segments next week again.
I got through all those other ones. They're all good. All right, good. Good.
Yeah, we're just going to do questions.
Okay.
We're going to give away a Flora. Sorry about the technical difficulties.
It's not our fault.
It's YouTube's fault. Whatever. It's cool.
Okay.
You can ask a question, you'll be eligible for a giveaway.
This is a big, long question.
I'll just paraphrase it.
To boil it down.
She's got flickering NeoPixels in her sparkle skirt and wants to know when she should know when to double up the thread. And the answer is if you're going further than prescribed in the tutorial, that is when you add more thread. And if you look at the sparkle skirt diagram, it actually has the ground and the power connecting back to Flora at the end of the chain, so that you're not the farthest away NeoPixel is actually like only, you like cut the distance in half, connect the power from the end of the chain back to Flora with a silicone stranded wire if you need to. That should fix some flickering issues. And we have one more picture. You can use alligator clips, the next picture.
Okay.
You can use alligator clips to help figure out like where your troublesome connections are.
Okay. Next up, I'm loving NeoPixel, but I'm a total noob. Where do I start?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked. You can start with the Flora NeoPixels guide or the NeoPixel Uber guide on the Adafruit learning system, and then we have lots of tutorials that are basically just NeoPixels and a Gemma, NeoPixels and a Flora, NeoPixels and a Trinket, and you can use any of the code from any of those projects. So Tiara is a good one to start because it's just animating a simple chain of a few NeoPixels with a little bit of soldering.
Okay, next up, another question. What part material would you recommend to diffuse a 16 NeoPixel ring? I don't have any access to a 3D printer.
Well, remember earlier in the show there was that beautiful ball gown? Those were NeoPixel rings diffused with pieces of translucent vinyl. You could also use fabric. You can also use paper. Anything that light can go through or can catch the light, prisms. And you know, get creative, like wad up some tissue paper and put it inside a paper form. You're not limited to just 3D printing, of course.
Okay. Next up, this is from Angela. Is there a recommended switch for sewing eel? Oh, stitch, not switch. You know, we have stitches and switches, so I get this confused. Yeah, But this is about stitches for sewing EL wire onto fabric, or perhaps a recommended glue.
I don't recommend glue for putting EL wire onto fabric, but I do recommend a specific stitch, and that would be a whip stitch. That's one of the simplest sewing stitches. It's just where you go through, then back through the same way. So around and through, around and through. You can see a picture here. This photo is from our Tron hoodie tutorial. So you can look up, look that up on the Adafruit learning system. We'll go to the next slide. And also the Tron messenger bag also has some nice close-up photos of sewing EL wire with a whip stitch and clear thread.
Okay, we got two questions here. Working on a Flora wearable with capacitive fabric has buttons to light up NeoPixels using CapSense library like in the Plush controller, works fine. If USB plugged in but doesn't work on battery. Tried more voltages but still doesn't work. USB not plugged in. Also tried adjusting threshold value, no avail. Any ideas? Thanks so much for everything you do.
Capacitive touch sensing, it relies on a connection to earth ground for reference, so that your like ugly bag of mostly water coming towards it disrupts the electromagnetic field. And if your circuit's not connected to earth ground, then it doesn't have a basis by which to measure. That's why the controller, the Plush controller, plugs in over USB and doesn't have any batteries, because it uses the computer's ground reference. But thanks, I will add a note in this conductive fabric capacitive touch tutorial that you do need to be connected to earth ground. So in your project you can take a piece of copper tape and put it on your shoe, or you can be holding on to something that's connected to earth ground, but your circuit must be connected to earth ground in order for those capacitive touch buttons to work. It's why I have not made a pair of keyboard pants yet, Adam.
Okay. Next up. Can I control any of the wearable LEDs via a Raspberry Pi?
Yes, you can, Liam. These ones. Is that good?
Yeah.
Good.
How did you?
These are.
Yeah, this prepared.
The addressable, the weather-resistant addressable pixels, both in flat top and bullet type, and then the super bright quads are also addressable, and then the LPD88, the non-NeoPixel strip in the low density or the high density, those will all work great with Raspberry Pi. None of the NeoPixels will, on the other hand, but if you're looking for, because of the timing issue, they require very accurate timing, and Raspberry Pi is, what's it called? There's that term for it being it's a not real-time operating system or whatever. Yeah, you need something like an Arduino. Yeah, an Arduino or Teensy or anything that's a microcontroller. Yeah, AVR microcontroller. And if you're looking for a tutorial to use those pixels with the Raspberry Pi, check out Phil B's Light Painter project. It's a very ambitious build that does use the non-NeoPixel pixels to do light painting with Raspberry Pi. Okay. Super cool. And guess what? That's it. Oh, that's the last question. Okay, great. So we're gonna give away a Flora now. I got all discombobulated because the show went down in the middle. don't worry. We will go over the circuit stickers. What I did want to tell you about the circuit stickers is that G, the creator of the circuit stickers, will be on Maker Camp tomorrow.
That's great.
So if you want to find out more about them or ask her any questions, you should check that out.
Yep.
I dropped one. Okay, I put the eligible questions in my favorite drones hat, and I'll pick a winner now. The winner of the Flora is... If you have a wearables project or any other kind of electronics project you would like to share, please join our weekly show and tell on Google+. That happens tonight at 7:30. So you can join and hold your project up to the camera and talk to Phil and Lady Ada. And then followed by at 8 o'clock, Ask an Engineer.
That's right. Big night tonight, talking all about the Raspberry Pi B+.
Oh yeah, the B+.
Yep.
I give it a B+.
An A for effort and a model name of B+.
I was going to give it a B+ for effort. No,
People are saying there is a Model A, and people are saying there's going to be an A+ now. See?
I'm very confused because the A+ is not going to do the most stuff or have the most ports or be the most anything.
Yeah.
Be the most simple.
We'll have to go. It'll be maybe the lowest cost, but we don't know yet.
The lowest cost.
Yeah, we don't know.
A+. Anyway,
all right.
Thanks so much for watching. We'll be back here, same bat time, same bat channel, with same bat segments.
Yeah, we'll go over the stuff that
that we missed in the middle. Thanks for sticking with us, and join us later tonight and next week.
Okay. Bye-bye.